Some days it feels like it's been 20 years. And then some days when you start talking about it, it feels
like it was
so
yesterday.
vivid, like
Yeah.
it was yesterday.
It really does. Yeah, the day was pretty much normal, but you had I don't know, I always had just this feeling it was kind of a weird day, knowing that, you kind of anticipated something was going to happen.
Sharon Allen and Sharon Oakley were working alongside each other in the trauma unit on April 27, 2011, both assigned to caring for a 2-year-old little girl.
And I remember we looked out the window and it was pitch black and you could see debris rotating around, and it was very frightening. We were very frightened. So we laid over. I laid over the top part, Sharon laid across the legs of this 2-year-old, and we just kind of protected her. And then it kind of came and went just quickly.
It didn't take long for the entire staff at DCH to learn hundreds of their neighbors were not as fortunate.
We started with 1 patient and then 3 patients and then 100 and then 500, and they just kept coming and kept coming.
Yeah, they were bringing them in on headboards, on doors.
I had a gentleman inbox me on Facebook, and he said, "I saw you on the Faces of the Storm, and I really appreciate what you did that night." And then he shared with me that he was one of our patients, and he said, "I came in on an orange door." And I remember the orange door. It's because it was an orange door. And you don't get many patients on an orange door. And so it's just the little things that you remember and the patients that you remember.
We were spared that day for one reason.
Oh yeah, I truly believe that. Especially afterwards when they had the aerial shots and you could see that it was coming straight toward us and then turn at the end. Because if it hadn't have, who would have taken care of the people that needed to be taken care of, So DCH had to stand to take care of those people. And I fully believe that's why God made it happen the way He made it happen.
So much destruction caused thousands of people to be displaced. With DCH still standing, many saw it as their only place to turn.
We knew no names. We'd be walking around with a baby on our hip, had no idea the name of the baby or the child or who their parents were. And that was one thing, because nobody had a name that day.
And I remember one of the nurses, she was asked, "What's your mom and dad's name?" And they would say, "Mom, Mama, Daddy." They didn't know their parents' name. And so it made it really hard, because you have these frantic, hysterical parents coming in the front door because they just want their child, and they want you to tell them their child's okay. And you can't on some of them.
Sharon Allen especially remembers her first patient from the storm, who was a University of Alabama student. She says not one day has gone by over the last decade that she hasn't thought about this young man.
You almost want to will somebody to get well or will them to get better. And I just wanted him to get well. And unfortunately, that wasn't what happened. And it's hard. It's hard because he's so young and he's just getting his life started. Sorry. And 10 years later, you think, where would he be if he were here? Would he be married? Would he have children? Would he? And I cannot tell you even now why that young man was I just connected, I don't know.
Even 10 years later, I still think back and think, good gracious, what a day. And how sad it was. But, like we've discussed over the years, there was so much good that came out of that day on top of all the bad. And, of course, it changed a lot of lives.
A lot of lives, including theirs.
It made me appreciate the fact that I get to be a nurse, that's something that it's not just a profession, it's almost like a joy.
It makes you appreciate life and hold on to everything,
And enjoy the day.
Yes,
enjoy
very
the day.
much.
And I say it, and people kind of laugh at me, but eat the cookie, eat the donut, because you may not be here tomorrow to eat the donut. So go ahead and eat the donut, it'll be all right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's right, we'll get a donut.